Well, how we doing, guys? Nice sunny day. Boy, it's been cold around here lately, but yeah, let me get rid of the glasses here. Have been able to get some stuff done. Put in some new fence. We got a new baby. We got all kinds of stuff going on. So let me get out of the sunlight. First thing we did right here, made some changes to the pen. Put in new pasture fence. We took this main pasture, I split this one in half. So now I have 3 pastures all about the same size. The gate down here is the normal gate that they used to use to go out to that pasture. As you can see, I've added another gate. And actually there's 2 gates here. So let me explain why I did it this way. Thinking about this in the future, I guess. Basically what I'm gonna do when it's done, I got a new post needs to go in here. The gate that'll go across here will swing back. This gate will swing back, the 2 will meet, and that'll allow the sheep to come out of that pen and go out into this pasture. And if you notice, I always put my gates in a corner. You always put them in a corner, you never put them in the middle somewhere, because the sheep are always going to run up along the fence. So if they're going to run up along the fence, they'll naturally funnel right into the gate as long as the gate's in the corner of the pen. So always put your gates in the corner of the pen. Now, you might think that overcomplicates things here a little bit. There's a reason for that. Eventually, when the new wood post goes in here and this gate's in place, there are days that pasture will be closed. This gate will swing back here towards us, and what we're going to end up doing is going this way. We're going to put an alleyway straight up here, and from here up to the next fence, that will be fenced in, and what that's going to end up giving me is another whole new pasture. So I'll have my 3 pastures down here, but eventually, late this summer, I will turn this into my 4th pasture, and this will be a much bigger one. That is probably the size of all 3 of those put together. But that's going to be my late summer pasture. We need to make some changes. Right now, the other side of that fence, where my son-in-law keeps his rams. So he's gonna change that though. What he wants to do, swing around here, he wants to put them out here where his ewes are and put his ewes back over there instead. So that'll work out good for me, because then I can fence from here on up. I can put my ewes out there late summer. I can leave them down here in the fall breeding season so I can watch that. Make sure I know who's getting bred early in the season when they're lambing. I can keep them down here where I can see them. But later in the summer, if it gets older, there's not as much to do. I can now put them up here, run all my sheep in one pasture, and keep them there for quite a while. This little area right here is an area that I usually mow. And I thought, I got lawnmowers, why do I want to mow it myself? So I've taken the the dog kennel panels we've used for sorting sheep in the past, put them up along the edge over there, and now I can go ahead and just turn the sheep out here, let them go ahead and eat this off, and I don't have to mow it anymore. Plus it kind of gives me a little bit extra pasture space. Also worked on some other fence down this way. Let's go down that way, because put Cyrus down there. Cyrus is no longer up here. Moved him down, split that up, and let's see if we can find our new baby while we're down there. All right, I think by the time I came through the barn, came out the other side, I think everybody's already headed back this direction again. Now there's Mom and the little one. We'll see if she's gonna go back down. I'll see if I can put that around where you can see it. We'll get a better look. I got a better look at her. There we go. There's Mom and the little one. Whoa, there she goes. All right, that is Scarlett. Scarlett was a first-time mom. Had the lamb the other day. Saw him out here in the pasture. I saw her out here and saw her in labor. Now what was funny was, first-time mom, she delivered, got up, turned around, looked behind her. The lamb was laying there and it shook its head back and forth. She must have jumped back 4 feet. I want to know what in the heck that was behind her. But she came up, she started licking on it right away. And that's a little girl, by the way. And my granddaughter has named it Lily. So that one's already got a name. She was licking on it right away. That was fine. The other sheep were all out there with her. and of course this is the first time mom, so they, you know, you get a little leery what they can do. And the other sheep were coming up around her, and I even saw another lamb older one try to nurse off her for a minute. And the lamb was starting to get confused who it was supposed to follow because there were so many out there. So I went out, I got them all to come in except her. She stayed out in the pasture with the lamb. I brought the others all in, locked them in, and then I watched her. And for a while she kept backing up, but eventually she was willing to let it nurse. So I just let her stay out there and for a couple hours, let them get used to each other. After supper, I kind of went out, went around them, slowly worked them up, and I got her in the small pens right over here. This is where I put in new fence here. I took out the pipe, put in this. I split this in half. Cyrus is over there making all kinds of noise in the other half. He's not happy. Today he went to 1 bottle. He didn't get fed this morning, so he's not thrilled, I'm sure. But I was able to get her in this small pen. Now, I left her in there. I'd have probably left her in there 2 or 3 days. I left her in there overnight and some of the next morning. And the main reason was I wanted her and the lamb to get used to each other. First time mom. Let the lamb really get used to following mom before it got in with a whole bunch of other ones. But the other big one for me was, with the first time mom, make sure they get, you know, bond real good before they go out in the group. Now, I would have probably left them 48 hours, but that ewe is a real spooky one. She's kind of squirrely, kind of spooky, and she really didn't like being by herself. She really hated being by herself. Even with Cyrus on the other side, the other sheep are right here. She was a lot of movement, and I thought, no, this isn't best. Her best thing is they got not quite 24 hours together. I thought that's close enough, and I put them all back together. Then today when I went to put them out, I just put them in that little pen we were just up in before rather than put them out in a big pasture. That way they're still in a small space. Her and the lamb are still in a small space, but she is with everybody else and she'll probably be happy. Much happier than Cyrus, who you can hear is not real happy because he's getting weaned. Here's the fence I re-put in over here. I had the pipe gates here. I didn't really like them, especially getting through that. I put new fence in here. Part of my idea for going this style of fence, let me back up and go the other direction here for a second. My plan is some of these hay feeders you buy, such as this. These hay feeders you get like this. Basically, that is your sheep panels you can buy at the farm stores, the 4-inch square, like a cattle panel at squares. My thought is I might buy one of those 16 footers, cut it in half, so it's 8 foot, and then bring it over here to this fence, attach it at the bottom, lean it out, and make a hay feeder out of it. If I attach it with chains, when I'm not feeding hay, I can probably just close it right back up here next to the fence. But that way, I can buy one of those. I can put an 8 foot one here, an 8 feet one on the other side, and I can have 2 separate hay feeders using the fence. As you see, the mouflons are in. They decided not to go, and there's the one little mouflon baby. I'll tell you, I just can't get used to gopher ears. I'm sorry. I just can't get used to that. I know there's a whole breed of goats out there, La Manchas or whatever they're called, that's it. All those no ears. Man, I just can't get used to that. Unhappy Cyrus. Here's what we're gonna do with Cyrus. We got him down to 1 bottle a day. We're probably gonna go for about, I don't know, another 5 or 6 days. The milk replacement bag is getting low. I'm not gonna do another one. We'll probably go another 5 or 6 days with 1 bottle. And then I'm just gonna take down the fence and turn him loose to everybody else. He's eating alfalfa, drinking water. He's eating pellets. So we'll go a few more days and then we'll just turn him loose and put him back out with everybody else. We'll kind of go from there. All right, that's it. New fence, new lambs. That's all I got for this week. Maybe we'll have new lambs by next week. Cece's still looking close. Anyway, thanks for sticking with me. Subscribe to the channel if you would. Hope to see you again real soon.